My girlfriend's female colleagues laughed at me as beneath her standards. They insulted my value, but I quietly disappeared and created a fortune. Now she's frantically texting with 67 unread messages, witnessing my triumph. Be me, 38-year-old Marcus. Already moved on from my marriage, fought for my self-respect, divorced my wife of 6 years, Lily, 33. She let her friends disrespect me constantly. They made fun of me and she watched. Worst part is she enjoyed it. Everyone around me calls me crazy. Say I'm impulsive for taking it so far for a silly reason. Maybe it's silly for them, but my self-respect is everything to me. Let me give some background. Grew up with 3 older brothers, household where respect was everything. Dad was a retired Marine Corps captain. Taught us that a man's word and honor were all he truly had. Remember when I was 10, Dad pulled me aside after some kid pushed me around at school. Didn't tell me to fight back. Instead gave me advice I never forgot. Marcus, you teach people how to treat you. If you let them step on you once, they'll do it forever. Wasn't born with a silver spoon. Worked my ass off to get where I am. Put myself through college. Worked nights as a bouncer at this underground club in Chicago, standing 6 feet 2 inches with a naturally broad build. Thanks to my old man's genes. Perfect for the job. Dealing with drunk people trying to start fights. Taught me a lot about setting boundaries. After graduating, landed entry-level position at investment consulting firm. Grinded for 12 years to make senior consultant. Built my client portfolio through pure hustle. Cold calls, networking events, staying late. Nothing was handed to me. Built everything through sweat and determination. My brothers all went into different fields. One's a firefighter, another's in the Marines like Dad. Oldest runs his own construction business. We're all cut from the same cloth. Straightforward guys who don't take shit from anyone. That's why what happened with Lily hit me so hard. Went against everything I was raised to believe. About how a man should be treated, especially by his wife. Met Lily at a friend's destination wedding in Miami. She was gorgeous. This stunning brunette with bright hazel eyes could stop traffic with her looks, way out of my league appearance-wise. But we connected immediately. She was smart. Worked as brand director for a luxury skincare company. Seemed to appreciate my straightforward nature. While other guys played games and put on fake personas, I just told her exactly who I was. 6 months later, I proposed. First year of marriage was perfect. Bought a modest but nice house in a good neighborhood in Nashville. Traveled to Bali and Greece. Talked about starting a family soon. Then I met her college friends. She had this very close group of girlfriends. From the start, I had a feeling they didn't like me. Shrugged it off initially. Who cares what my wife's friends think? They weren't important to me. But right from the first time she introduced me, at this upscale wine bar downtown, I felt this cold vibe. They tried to be sweet, but one could easily see through their act. The awkward silence and side glances said a lot. So Marcus, what is it that you do again? One of them asked with this fake smile. I told them about my consulting work. Oh, interesting, she said. Her tone clearly meant the opposite. Like you help people plan their retirement and stuff? She giggled like it was the most boring job ever. I explained that I help high-net-worth clients manage their investment portfolios, develop long-term wealth strategies. Sounds complicated, another one chimed in. Immediately turned to Lily. Remember that guy Lauren dated last year? The one who owned that tech startup? What was his name again? Just like that, I was excluded from the conversation. Lily didn't even notice. Or if she did, she didn't care. Initially brushed it off. Thought maybe I was overthinking, or they needed time to warm up. But it was those subtle hints that showed I was unwanted. They'd cut me off in conversations, move discussions away from what I said. If I made a joke, they exchanged glances and smirked. They'd make inside jokes at my expense, jokes Lily never bothered to explain. Once one of them outright asked Lily right in front of me, "How did you end up with him?" Lily just laughed and said, "Oh, he grows on you." Like I was some kind of fungus. I asked what that was supposed to mean. They changed the topic. I felt like an outsider in my own relationship. The worst part was she never stood up for me. Not even once. Later confronted Lily in the car ride home. She brushed it off as a joke. "Babe, you're being way too sensitive," she said, rolling her eyes. That's just how they are. They tease everyone. Did you see how they treated me? They acted like I wasn't even there. "You're exaggerating," she replied. They were just being silly. Don't take it so personally. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more going on. Eventually stopped going with her. When she met up with them, made up excuses about work or needing to hit the gym. But sometimes they would show up at our place for wine nights or before going clubbing. Couldn't avoid them then, though I didn't talk except for basic pleasantries. Their presence messed with my mind. There were so many times I asked Lily why her friends were so cold towards me. Usually she would brush it off. But one night, after too many glasses of wine, she finally confessed her friends thought she deserved better, that I wasn't successful enough. Maybe she was settling with me. Also said I didn't have the right connections. My friends look up to me as a smart and confident woman. They expected I would marry some CEO or executive. Remember sitting there stunned as she kept talking, like what she was saying wasn't driving a knife into my chest. Catherine especially thinks I could have done better. Her husband makes serious money. They just bought that mansion in the Hamptons. She trailed off, finally noticing my expression. Her words made me ask why she even married me. If she thought so too, she backpedaled hard, eyes wide, suddenly realizing what she'd admitted. No, that's not what I think. I'm just telling you what they said. I married you because I love you. I don't care about all that superficial stuff. She assured me she married for love. Said she was happy and content. I wanted to believe her, but the seed of doubt was planted. Still, that was the only worrisome part of our marriage. If you remove her friends from the equation, we had an amazing life. I'd come home from work, hit the home gym I built in our garage. Staying fit has always been important to me. Then we'd spend quality time together. Weekends were for hiking or trying new restaurants. We didn't have any major fights, apart from the ones that popped up due to her friends. Feels like she becomes a different person around them. Usually she's kind and considerate, but with them she becomes feisty and savage. All her friends are this way. Maybe she tries to fit in. I tried to understand that everyone wants to belong, but at what cost? The breaking point was their group chat. Around 5 months back, her laptop crashed. She used mine for a while, logged into WhatsApp on my computer, but forgot to log out. Few days later, I opened the app, realized it was her account, was about to close it. When messages started syncing, hundreds of them. No way you could stop the sync. Intended to log out, but my name popped up multiple times. In a group chat preview, curiosity got the best of me. Opened the chat. What I saw, man, I can still feel that pit in my stomach. Thinking about it, it was worse than I ever imagined. She wasn't just tolerating their trash talk, she was enjoying it. The group was called Boss Babes. There were 5 of them, including Lily. They talked daily, sharing everything from work, gossip, to relationship details. I scrolled back to get context. What I found made me sick. There's one friend named Catherine. She's the meanest of all. Married to some tech mogul a year back. Brags non-stop about the money, the holidays and gifts. The guy is handsome too, former college athlete type, who still has time to hit the gym, despite his supposedly demanding job. She often sent their pictures in the group, then tagged Lily and asked, "What did Marcus do for your birthday? Where was Marcus taking you for the holidays?" It was hurtful, but Lily's responses were more shattering. Kept reading. Unable to stop, despite the growing knot in my throat. Catherine just got back from Bora Bora. David surprised me for our anniversary. Photo of her in a bikini next to her husband on a yacht. Lily. "Oh my God, so jealous. Looks amazing." Catherine. "What did Marcus get you for your birthday last month? Did he finally take you to that restaurant you've been hinting about?" Lily. "Lol, no, he got me flowers and cooked dinner. It was sweet, I guess." Catherine. "Flowers and dinner at home? That's it, girl?" Then another friend chimed in. Nicole. "I swear sometimes I wonder, what were you even thinking when you decided to marry him?" Lily responded, "I wonder that too, LOL. Felt like I'd been punched in the gut. This was my wife, the woman who just last night curled up next to me on the couch, who told me she loved me before we went to sleep." The conversation continued. Ashley. "He's so boring. He doesn't even surprise you with weekend getaways, like David does for Catherine." Lily just replied, "Huh." Catherine. "You deserve someone who matches your energy. Someone successful and exciting. Not Mr. Investment Consultant who thinks a wild night, Is trying a new craft beer at the local brewery LMAO. Lily. Stop, they egged on. All of them laughing at my expense, like I was some clueless fool. The worst part was seeing how easily she joined in. In some messages, she'd defend me a little. He's really good with money, though. He's sweet in his own way, but it felt like she was talking about a pet, not her husband. One of them even suggested she find someone on the side, someone more exciting. Lily's response was, "You bet," followed by a winky face. I felt sick to my guts. I was shaking. This wasn't just mean-spirited gossip. It was hurtful. I exported the whole chat into my mailbox, saved it on my laptop. I've never been the type of guy to let people walk all over me, in the gym, at work, anywhere. I stand my ground. But here I was, letting my own wife and her friends treat me like I was nothing. Not anymore. I kept digging, looking for any evidence that she might have actually cheated. Nothing concrete turned up, but there were several instances where they discussed attractive men at her workplace, or friends of friends. Enough to keep the paranoia simmering. Was she just talking? Or had there been more? I didn't explode. Just sat there processing. Hit me like a ton of bricks. The woman I loved, the woman I built a life with, had been making a joke out of me for years, and I was a fool to think we had a great marriage. I scanned through her inbox, but didn't find anything else. Her chat with her mom had nothing in it. In fact, to her mom, she painted our marriage as perfect. I wondered which version was the lie. When she got home that evening, I was sitting in the living room, my laptop open on the coffee table. She came in smiling, dropped her purse on the counter, leaned in to kiss me. Like any normal day, I turned my face away. "What's wrong?" she asked immediately. Sensing the tension, I gestured to the laptop. "You forgot to log out of WhatsApp on my computer." She froze, then panicked, her face draining of color as realization dawned. "Marcus, how much did you read?" "Enough," I said quietly. "Enough to know what you and your friends really think of me." She tried to gaslight me. "You invaded my privacy? Went through my messages." She accused me as if that was the real issue, as if the violation of her privacy was the crime here, not the absolute mockery of our marriage. "Are you serious right now?" I asked, my voice rising despite attempts to stay calm. "You're worried about your privacy? What about my dignity? What about our marriage? Do you think it's normal to talk about your husband that way?" "It's just girl talk," she insisted, tears forming in her eyes. "Everyone vents about their partner sometimes. It doesn't mean anything." I literally told her, "You didn't log out? And frankly, I'm glad you didn't. At least now I know the truth. What you think about me?" She defended herself, saying she didn't say anything wrong about me. She challenged me to show her proof that she talked badly about me. "Yes, you didn't say outright, but you didn't stop them either. You laughed along. You agreed with them. Tell me, Lily, if someone was talking about your husband, shouldn't your first reaction be to defend him? Not join in?" This situation blew up. I was really mad at her. She too was defending herself, that her friends were just funny and messing around with her. And they say mean things about everyone, and I was no exception. "So that makes it okay?" I asked incredulously. "Everyone gets on, so I should just accept it? Is that really your defense here?" I said, "I don't care what they say or do. You being my wife should have defended me. But you enjoyed their insults about me. You participated." She tried to defend herself and her friends, but I laid it out plain and simple. "It's them or me. Either you cut them off right now, over the phone in front of me, or we're done." "You can't be serious," she said, eyes wide. "They're my best friends. I've known them for over a decade. And I'm your husband. The man you promised to love and respect. Choose." She hesitated. She actually hesitated. She pushed back. "Come on, you know they're just joking. You're taking this too seriously. We can work this out. I'll talk to them. Tell them to tone it down. That's not good enough. I want them out of our lives. They're toxic and they're poisoning our marriage. That's not fair. You can't just demand I cut off my friends. What kind of controlling is that? It's not controlling to expect my wife not to participate in humiliating me behind my back. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I will and won't tolerate. In my marriage, the choice is yours." She stared at me for a long moment, then said, "I can't cut them off. That's not reasonable." "Cool," I said. "You made your choice. And now I would make mine. I'm ending it." She freaked out. "You're really going to break up over some texts? Over these stupid reasons? You're throwing away 6 years of marriage over this?" "It's not about texts or petty reasons. It's about self-respect. As my wife, it's your duty to protect my honor, and you had failed to do so. I was still being considerate. And giving you a chance to make things right, all you had to do was cut off your friends. What's the use of such cruel people in life, who only put you down and make you feel small?" She didn't understand. Over the next few days, the arguments continued. She oscillated between defensive anger and tearful apologies. She promised to be better, to stand up for me more, to limit her time with them, but she wouldn't take the step I needed, cutting them out completely. She apologized on their behalf, promised to keep them in check next time. I said, "It's not helping. I don't need a sorry. I want you to cut them off right now. If you can't, then I'm out." "They're not that bad," she insisted. "You're only seeing the worst moments. They can be really supportive too." "Supportive of what? Undermining your marriage? Making you feel like you settled? Encouraging you to cheat?" "That was just a joke. I would never cheat on you. But you joke about it with them. You entertain the idea? Where's the respect in that?" After a lot of back and forth, multiple rounds of fighting and yelling, she finally said firmly, "They came into my life before you, and I can't lose them over you." Those words told me everything about where I ranked in her priorities. I grabbed my jacket and said, "Cool, then I can't live with you." End of discussion. She tried to stop me, but I stormed out. Spent the night at a hotel, just needing space to think. Over the next few days, told her we needed to start living separately. Either she moved out or I would. She resisted for a while, but when I didn't soften, she flipped and said, "Think again. I'm way out of your league. You may not be lucky twice." I laughed at her words. "Once I say yes to the divorce, I won't change my mind. Even if you're begging, coming crawling on your hands." Let out a bitter laugh and said, "Fine by me." Her true colors really came out then. The mask slipped completely. This wasn't the woman I married, or maybe it was, and I just hadn't seen it clearly before. She packed her stuff and left. We're going through the separation period. Before we can proceed with the divorce, we have a 6-month wait period, and it's killing me. I'm counting the days till it gets over. We've split the assets 50-50. Put the house up for sale. Luckily, we don't have kids, so there's no custody battle. Even without that, things are messy. And on top of that, everyone around is calling me impulsive and too sensitive. They're belittling my feelings, saying that I have blown this out of proportion, and it could be solved just via couples therapy. Therapy. My mom called me worried. "Marcus, honey, marriage takes work. Everyone has rough patches." "Mom, this isn't a rough patch. She fundamentally doesn't respect me. Would you stay with Dad if he laughed along while his friends made fun of you?" The divorce is almost finalized. The wait period was dramatic, though. She put up a face that it was my loss, and she was living her best life. She subtly tried to manipulate me, using my parents and friends. You see, I'm a low-key guy. Don't make my life public. I didn't go about telling everyone I was divorcing. She did. She deliberately slipped out this information to my parents and my friends, fed them a twisted version of the truth. She painted me as a paranoid husband who had spied on her and found some harmless jokes between her friends and blown it out of proportion. My dad even came down to meet me, to knock some sense into me. He sat me down and explained that women often rely on their close-knit group of friends as a safety net, a place to vent, and that I shouldn't be insecure about it. "Marcus, I've been married to your mother for 40 years. You think she doesn't complain about me to her friends? That's just what women do. Dad, this isn't normal venting. Let me show you." He said I was acting impulsively, throwing away a marriage over what he assumed was just meaningless gossip. I let him speak his piece, and then without a word, I pulled out my laptop and showed him the messages. The moment he started reading, his expression changed. I watched as his face went from skepticism to shock to anger. He was utterly speechless. He saw firsthand that it wasn't just light-hearted teasing, but outright mockery, pure unfiltered insults. Lily was not just allowing it. but actively encouraging it. After a long pause, he got it now. He didn't apologize outright, but the way he patted my shoulder and simply said, "Do what you have to do, son," made me realize that my silence on the topic was making me the bad guy. Now I understood why everyone called me impulsive. "I raised you boys to stand up for yourselves." He added, "I'd be disappointed if you stayed." In a situation like this, that meant everything to me. My dad had always been my role model for what a man should be, strong, fair, and unwavering in his principles. When she told everyone about our divorce, my parents and some close friends tried to talk to me, but I didn't indulge. Hence, most of them believed her version of the story, naturally. So anyway, I managed to sell the house at a great price. The market was hot, and we made a decent profit. We divided the assets evenly. To my surprise, she didn't fight me on this. Her pride wouldn't allow it. I was more than happy with her approach, because I just wanted everything over with as soon as possible. She had moved in with one of her friends and wasted no time putting up an act of a carefree, exciting life on social media. Her posts were flooded with pictures and videos of her partying, traveling, and living her best life. I knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted me to see it, to feel like I had lost something irreplaceable. She wanted to make me feel jealous. One night after a few drinks, my buddy Chris showed me her Instagram. She was at some rooftop bar in Los Angeles, cocktail in hand, surrounded by a group of guys in expensive suits. "She's really trying to show you what you're missing, huh?" Chris said. I studied the photo for a minute. In the past, it might have hurt, but now I just felt sorry for her. The forced smile, the carefully posed shot, the desperate need for validation. It all seemed so transparent. But instead of wallowing, I moved on. I redirected my energy into rebuilding myself. Hit the gym harder than ever before, dropping from 22% body fat to 14%. In just a few months, wasn't just looking better, was feeling stronger, more confident, more in control. Also started a side business in sports nutrition consulting that I had been meaning to launch for years, with no toxic influences holding me back. Got certified as a sports nutrition specialist, leveraged my background in investment consulting to create comprehensive wellness plans that addressed both physical and financial health, a unique angle that really resonated with clients. I'm more focused and productive than ever. Spend my day at work, sweat at the gym, and come back home to work on my business. It's so fulfilling. For the first time in years, I feel like I'm truly living for myself, not trying to measure up to someone else's expectations. She couldn't bear to see I was doing so good without her. She started poking her nose back in my life. Actually, Lily and I had been in the middle of an IVF process before everything fell apart. We'd been trying naturally for a couple of years, with no success, and had just started the medical route. Given the circumstances, I withdrew from the process, making it clear that I no longer consented to having a child with her. Simple and fair, right? This did not sit well with her. She had this twisted request that I should let her have my child, despite the separation. Like, what the hell? Said no. Any sane person would have understood it. But she was entitled. She started blowing up first with texts, long paragraphs and emotional appeals. Then came the calls. I had not blocked her yet, thinking we might have to communicate for the divorce, and she was cooperating until now. "Marcus, please. We've already gone through so much of the process. The doctor said my eggs are perfect, and we have a real chance. Don't take this away from me. Lily, we're getting divorced. Why would we bring a child into that situation? Because I'm running out of time. Do you know how hard it is to start over at my age? To find someone, build a relationship, get married again, and then try for a baby? I might miss my window completely." Her panic was real, but so was my resolve. I wasn't going to create a lifelong connection to someone who had betrayed my trust so deeply. When I ignored the texts and calls, she showed up on my doorstep. She looked disheveled, eyes puffy from crying, quite opposite to the glamorous life she showed off online. She pleaded, "Please, this is all I've ever wanted. I don't even need you to be involved. Just let me have this baby. I'll raise it alone. You won't have to do anything. I'm relieved we don't have children together." The separation would have been so difficult. It's easy this way, and you want to complicate it? By having my child? I won't permit it. She still persisted, but I firmly said, "We are done. I want no connection to you. Now or in the future." She clutched my sleeves. Tears rolled down her face. She begged, "I know we didn't work out, but this is different. It's my dream. I've always wanted to be a mother. Please don't take this away from me." She was desperate, but I remained unmoved and asserted, "You're asking me to bring a child into this world, into a broken relationship. I won't do it. I refuse to have a child. That links me to you for life." She sobbed harder, made all sorts of unrealistic promises. "I'll sign anything you want. No child support. No involvement. You won't even have to see them." I shook my head. "My decision is final. I already informed the clinic to discard my sample. There's nothing left to discuss." I remember the look in her eyes. A mix of desperation, anger, and disbelief. She couldn't fathom that I would deny her something she wanted so badly. But that was the difference between us. She thought only of herself, while I was thinking of a potential child who would be born into a fractured situation. She stared at me for a long moment, searching my face for any sign of softness. I remained unmoved, and she finally left, wiping her tears. A few days later, her parents reached out with the same requests. They assured me I wouldn't have any responsibility for the child. She would sign an official document that she would ask for no child support. But my answer remained the same. Absolutely not. I wanted no connection to her, and certainly not through a child. This is the final stretch. Before the divorce is finalized, I can see the finish line, and I'm counting down the days. Final update. It's been a while, and life has exploded. In the best possible way, after everything that happened, I threw myself into my business, and it has paid off tremendously. Started my sports nutrition consulting as a side hustle, primarily for amateur athletes. Now it has grown into a full-fledged company. With 5 employees, I've expanded into personalized fitness programs, recovery techniques, and even a premium supplement line that's been featured in Men's Health and Sports Illustrated. I was able to scale it beyond my expectations. Now I run it full-time. Quit my investment consulting job a year ago and never looked back. The transition wasn't easy. There were plenty of late nights, uncertain moments, and financial stress as I built the business. But unlike my marriage, this was stress with purpose. Every obstacle I overcame made me stronger and moved me forward. Remember the day I landed my first professional athlete client, a linebacker for an NFL team, who was recovering from knee surgery. He tried everything to get back to peak condition, but nothing was working. My program got him back on the field, 3 weeks ahead of schedule, and the referrals started pouring in after that. Well, Lily's been watching it all. I never blocked her on social media, but don't follow her either. I know for sure that she looks up my profile every now and then because I see her likes on my business achievement posts or gym progress pics. Sometimes she'll even leave a brief comment. Congratulations or looking good. I don't respond. I don't post much, but whenever I do, it's about my business milestones or fitness achievements and not any random stuff. My brother noticed it too. "Dude, your ex-wife is stalking your Instagram hard," he told me. One day over beers, Trinity, his wife, follows her, and she said Lily brings me up in her stories sometimes, trying to act like we're still on good terms. "We're not," I said simply. "Oh, Trinity knows that. She just thinks it's pathetic how Lily's trying to associate herself with your success now." Recently, I spoke to one of the mutual friends. She told me that Lily brings me up more often than she'd like to admit. "She asks about you every time we talk," the friend admitted. "Wants to know if you're seeing anyone, how your business is doing. If you ever mention her, it's honestly getting weird." During the waiting period, and even few months after the divorce, she continued posting about her fun and colorful social life. But gradually it shifted. Her life has been anything but perfect. She enjoyed her carefree life for a while, but eventually she felt lonely. After all, her friends got engaged and married, and prioritized their personal lives. The friend with which she moved in after the divorce also got engaged, and asked Lily to move out. She chose them over me, and at last got left behind by her soulmate friends. Those cheerful group pictures, with her so-called best friends, had disappeared. Now instead she's been posting cryptic stories about fake friends, and how one bad apple can ruin the bunch. Even Catherine, her friend who was married to the tech mogul, turns out he was cheating on her. With his assistant, massive public scandal, divorce, the whole drama. Catherine moved back to her hometown in disgrace. Karma's a bitch. I heard through the grapevine that Lily tried to reconnect with Catherine after that, thinking they could bond over being divorced, but Catherine was too deep in her own problems to care about Lily. The Boss Babes group chat apparently fell apart completely when one of the other women accused Nicole of sleeping with her husband. The whole toxic circle imploded under the weight of its own drama. The best part was when the mutual friend let it slip to Lily that I'm dating another woman. It's true, I have found love again. Her name's Sophia, a former professional tennis player turned physical therapist. She's 32, 5'9", athletic as hell, with this amazing smile that lights up a room. She's my business partner now. Smart, independent, and driven. We met through work when she approached me about collaborating on recovery protocols for athletes. It started as a professional relationship and naturally grew into something so deep and meaningful. She's nothing like Lily, and that's the best part. There are no mind games, no belittling, and cruel laughter at my expense. She respects me, supports me, and most importantly, she values me for who I am, not for what I can provide, or how I compare to someone else's rich husband. With Sophia, everything feels real. When she compliments me, I know she means it. When we disagree, we talk it out like adults. There's no passive-aggressive behavior, no running to friends to mock me behind my back. She moved in with me 3 months ago, and it's been amazing. We work out together, collaborate on the business, and push each other to be better. She understands my drive because she has the same ambition herself. Last month, we opened a small performance center downtown, combining our expertise into a holistic approach to athletic development. The place has been packed since day one. When Lily found out about her, she lost it. She showed up at my gym unannounced. While I was training a client, asking for a few minutes, she looked different and desperate. Well put together on the outside, but hollow-eyed and regretful. She started off by saying sorry. This was the first time she ever uttered that word, and it felt she meant it. "Marcus, can we talk privately, please?" she asked, glancing nervously at my client, a college basketball player, who was clearly uncomfortable. With the situation, I excused myself for a moment and led Lily to the small office in the back. "What do you want, Lily?" "I'm working." She took a deep breath. "I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I need to apologize to you. I was wrong. So wrong about everything." She admitted that it was her mistake. To prioritize her friends over me, she was guilty and remorseful. She spilled everything. How in the end her friends all got busy with their own lives. 2 of them had kids now and lost touch. Another had moved away for her husband's job. Their group got scattered. We used to talk every day. And now I'm lucky if I get a text back once a week, she said, eyes downcast. I sacrificed my marriage for people who dropped me. The minute their lives changed, this was the primary reason. She wanted to have kids with me because her friends were having them, and she didn't want to feel left out. She confessed that she wanted to fit into the girls' gang. These girls were the coolest ones. In her college, Lily wanted to be a part of this group, hence did everything to fit in, and never stood up against them. I was insecure, she admitted. I always felt like I had to prove myself to them, like I wasn't good enough, unless they approved of my life, and they never thought you were good enough for me. So I tried to see you through their eyes, instead of my own. I never wanted to hurt you, and didn't mean what I said in the chat. I just played along to be in their good books. Exactly, I said. You cared about them, their opinion, and not about my feelings. You made your choice, and I made mine, and we both are living by it. She wiped her tears and tried to fake excitement. I'm so happy for your success. You're doing so well. I follow your business updates. Your body looks amazing too. You're absolutely ripped now. You're thriving. You look younger and more confident. I didn't melt, just nodded with a half smile. Then came the real reason for her visit. Lily had lost her brand director job 6 months ago during company downsizing. She'd been struggling to find something comparable, burning through her savings. Her new apartment had serious water damage from a burst pipe, and her insurance was giving her the runaround. I've been staying at an ABI-RBI, but it's eating through what little money I have left, she explained, voice cracking. My parents offered to let me move back home, but they're in Atlanta now, and there's no job market for me there. She meekly said, now that I've realized my mistakes and lost all my toxic friends, do we have a chance to try again? I laughed at her question. She didn't call off her friends. They sidelined her, and when she had no one, she came to me as if I was the last choice. I smirked. What about Sophia? You know about her, don't you? She pretended to be surprised, and then whispered, You've only known her for a few months. Shouldn't be difficult to get her out of the picture. We had 6 years together, Marcus. The audacity of this woman was unbelievable. After everything she'd done, she thought she could just waltz back into my life because it was convenient for her now. It actually would be difficult because you know what? I love her. She's an amazing woman. I wish I could say the same for you. Then she broke down completely. Please, I need help. Even just temporarily. Let me stay at your place for a few weeks until my apartment is fixed. I don't have anywhere else to go. She was in tears, saying she lost everything, a happy married life, a chance to be a mother. Her career was stalling, while mine was soaring. Even the men she had tried to date, after me had all let her down, she confided that none of them were serious about relationship, and that the few who were financially successful treated her like a trophy, not with the respect that she claimed she wanted now. The dating apps are horrible, Marcus. Men just want one thing, and the decent ones don't want a woman in her mid-30s with nothing to show for it. I made a mistake. I threw away the one good man who treated me right. Her eyes were remorseful. She had finally realized what she had lost, that she had let go of the one person who genuinely loved her. For people who didn't care, the pain of realizing that she had thrown away something real for short-term validation from fake friends who abandoned her when she needed them. She grabbed my arm. Please, I'll do anything. I can help with your business. I'm good at marketing, you know that? I can help you take it to the next level. Just then there was a knock at the door. Sophia poked her head in, immediately assessing the situation. Everything okay in here? She asked, her eyes flicking between me and Lily. Everything's fine, I assured her. Lily was just leaving. Lily stared at Sophia, taking in her athletic build, natural beauty, and confident posture. The comparison was inevitable, and Lily knew she was looking at a woman who was everything she wasn't: genuine, self-assured, and truly supportive. But I felt nothing. No bitterness, no anger, just peace. I told her goodbye, and I meant it. I closed the door on her. For the final time, last I heard, she's living with her parents again. At 33, working an entry-level job. At half her former salary, her Instagram is mostly dead now, except for occasional reposts of motivational quotes about rebuilding and second chances.